In order to work in the R programming language, you need to know some very basic operations. Things such as how to clear the screen, how to create a vector, how to see what are all items are present in the R console. These kind of things are very essential. In this video, we will see all of these aspects and also see how to create a vector that contains only one element. We are entering the create phase of this case problem. The data that you will create in this phase will be used in the transform and the analyze phase as well. Here is some of the data that we will be creating. But for this video, we will focus on creating only 1 day's worth of data. This translates as vectors with only one element in it. This is the RStudio screen. You have seen this in the past when we installed it. We have the editor on the top left, the console on the bottom left, the environment and the help tab on the right. I will be rarely using these two, so I am going to hide it out by placing the cursor on this pane and drag it out. Now, when you start your RStudio, it may not look like this. The reason is I went to the Tools, Global Options, Appearance, and select the pastel on dark theme to make it look like this. But there are other themes also. Check out those and whichever you like, select it and hit OK. Now, I want to create a variable called month and place in it the string sep_2019. To do that, I am using a special arrow operator that is directed towards month. Now, to run any R code, what you have to do is place the cursor on that line or select the entire line and hit the control plus the return key if you are on a Windows machine, or if you are on a MacBook, hit the command plus the return key. Now month is created. An alternate way to do the same thing is using the equal to sign. If you are coming from other programming languages, this might be more familiar and comfortable. But when it comes to R, most R programmers use the arrow notation to make the assignment. If you look at any publicly available R code or see the work of any of the R programmers, you will see the arrow notation predominantly. For this reason, we will continue to use the arrow notation throughout the rest of this course. Now I have created month. I want to see what are all variables that is present in my global environment. I know that there is only one variable, but in the event that you have created a lot of variables and want to check out what are all variables is present, you might want to use the ls function to see the objects that is present in your global environment. The output of ls and the variables listed in your global environment tab should match. Now to remove any given variable, use the rm function and pass the variable to it. Now both the output of ls as well as the global environment is empty. Now I have some output written on my console and I want to clear the screen. It is getting more cluttered. There is a keyboard shortcut to do that, and the shortcut is Ctrl plus L on both MacBook as well as Windows laptop. Alternately, there is a programmatic command to do the same thing, which is the cat function with the string \14. On doing either cat \14 or using the Ctrl L command, you can clear the screen. But you might be wondering, why do we need a programmatic command to clear the screen when there is a simple shortcut to do it? The reason is, if you are running a long running R script that is printing a lot of output on your console and you want to periodically watch what is coming out as the output and you want to clear the screen periodically, you have to place the cat \14 at places where you want to clear the screen. You cannot actually stop the code manually while it is running and clear the screen at that point in time. So for that reason, you will need cat \14. Now the arrow operator works in the opposite direction also. In this line, notice the month is placed on the right hand side, but the arrow is still directed towards month. This tells R that you have to place sep_2019 string on month On running this, month gets the right value. Now month is created. I want to check what sort of an object it is. You can do that using the class function. Using class, it will tell you what type of data structure that particular object is. In this case, it is returning as character, even though this is actually a character vector. This is R's way of returning the output because there are other types of vectors in real practice. Other types including integer vector, numeric vector, Boolean vector, that is logical vector. All these are also available. Now, how to find the number of items present in any given vector? Since month contains only one object, and we know that, this may not be very useful at this point, but if you have a vector that contains a lot of items in it and you do not know how many items are present in that vector, use the length function. Now I want to create a variable called day of month and place in it the value 1.0. Now if I print the value of day of month, it returns just 1, even though I asked it explicitly to store 1.0 inside it. This is just an R's way of showing the output. Now you can know that this is actually a float and not an integer by checking the class of this object. Even though I have placed a space here and the command still works, this is not a normal way of writing a function or implementing a function. So remove all the spaces right after the function, even though it might make it look good. This is not a commonly followed practice. Now, the output of this class returns numeric, even though on printing day of month, it is not printing the decimal part. If you explicitly want to store it as an integer, what you need to do is place an additional L beside the 1. If you create your day of month in this manner and check the class, you can see that it is an integer. Now, it is possible to convert any number to a character. What I mean by that is it is possible to convert a number, say 1000, to a character 1000 by just adding a pair of quotes around the 1000. While it may not be possible to convert any character to a number. For example, if you want to convert the string apple to a number apple, there is no equivalent to it. So, to enable this conversion of a number to a character, there is a function called as.character. On running this, you can see a pair of double quotes placed around 1, showing that this is stored as a character. To confirm it, check the class and it should return character. It is possible to convert it back to a numeric using the equivalent as.numeric function. Likewise, if you want to convert it to an integer, there is an equivalent as.integer. Feel free to try it out in your console as well. Now, if you look at the day of month value, it does not contain quotes. Checking the value, it returns numeric. Let me clear the screen. Now, variables in R is case sensitive. What I mean by that, we have a variable day of month, all in small case. Now I'm going to create a variable day of month where D, O and M is in caps and contains a different value. Now these two variables are completely different even though they spell the same. The reason that this is an important distinction is because people coming from SQL or SAS background might tend to use the capital case and the small case of a variable alternatively. That will not work in R because these two are completely different. So is the case in other programming languages also. So now let's do a mini challenge. The challenge for this video is create a variable called year and assign the value 2021 to it. Then change it to a character variable. Give it a shot in your R console. I will show the answers in a few seconds. So here's the answer. Originally it was numeric. Now it is converted to a character. Congratulations if you managed that. We have successfully created your very first line of R code. Now we are also set to work more fluently in R in the coming videos. See you in the next one.